welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, I will focus on my greenhouse. I have to do some cleaning here after a long winter, and also I have some plants that I have to put into pots, and so that they can grow in the greenhouse instead of in my living room. By the way, if you are new to this channel, my name is Børre. I am a biologist, and I spend around half the year in Spain during winter time in my motorhome, and I spend half the year here in Norway in my ordinary house. And I will take you with me on this channel on different journeys, small hikes, trips with my motorhome, and always show you interesting things connected with nature and biology. Since I will start cleaning up the greenhouse today, I really need some potting soil for my tomato plants. So that will be the first thing I will be doing today. As you can see, my greenhouse has been standing here for the entire winter. And as you see, there's always some dirt and growth, on the glass here, on the plastic. And this has to be cleaned up, I think, before we start the season. So I have a job to do with start washing using the high pressure washer, and see if we can get rid of all this dirt and what is laying around here. The first thing I would do now is to take out all this equipment that is placed inside the greenhouse, in order to be able to wash it also and clean it up also from inside here. And as you can see, there are some pots standing here, and also some soil, and also there are some plants that I bought a couple of weeks ago, and all of these have to be taken out before I start washing, cleaning up inside of the greenhouse. A couple of weeks ago, I bought some tomato plants, 6 of them here, and due to the temperature that we have this time of the year, it's a bit risky to put them into the greenhouse too early, because it might be cold and frost during the night sometimes. So I've been keeping them in my living room now for a while, and but they've been growing very fast, and as you can see, they're almost 60-70 centimeters high now. So they are really ready to be planted into new pots, so that they have a bit more space for their roots. And also, some of them have actually started, growing, making flowers, and also even you can see the first tomato forming here on one of these plants. So it is time for them to find another place to live, and after this I will put them in the greenhouse also during the night. Yesterday I also bought some cucumber plants, and they have these beautiful big leaves, and it's a very nice plant to have in the greenhouse, and they might be very productive and produce a lot of cucumbers. These are rather small cucumbers. They're called snack cucumbers. So there's not the long ones that you get in the shop, but they're very, very tasty. And hopefully I will succeed in getting these guys to be ready for producing cucumbers. Well, that was a big job, and as you can see, I have things to do here. It's quite dirty on the floor here, and so I have to clean this with a high pressure washer, both inside and outside. And so I have a little job to do, but hopefully it will be okay. And finally, I can be ready to put in my tomato plants and start the season. As you can see, the tiles that are present here, they are made of wood, and I painted them several times to keep them waterproof. And if you take a look underneath one of these tiles, you will see that there are other tiles made of plastic, and underneath these plastic tiles there is gravel. This means that water will always be able to escape, from the floor. And that is a good thing, so you don't need to accumulate water on the floor of the greenhouse. So if you spill water and the watering system, whatever, gives too much water off, then it will always run away from the surface of the floor. And that's a good thing. Well, as you can see, everything is very wet inside here now, and this means that it's time to do something else for a while and let everything dry up, and then I will continue afterwards with planting and potting all the tomato plants that I've got. Well, after having washed the entire greenhouse with my high pressure washer, I think it's time for it to dry up a little bit before I start planting all the tomato plants that I've got and the cucumbers. So in the meantime, I will cut some grass, I think. plant my tomatoes. And what I'm doing is I take one of these buckets and I make a hole, 3, 5, 6 holes in it, as you can see here. So I'm just drilling holes in the bottom of this bucket so that water can be able to escape and run through. Because if I didn't have these holes, then the water will accumulate inside the bucket, and which might cause the plant to actually drown. Normally, I will put gravel in the bottom of these buckets to keep them a little bit easier to drain. But I don't have any gravel now, so I'll be using charcoal coal from my firewood, and I just put that in the bottom here to keep it a little bit more open for the water to escape. And at the same time, the ashes here, it also functions as a fertilizer. After having added the charcoal into the bucket, I normally add half the bucket with potting soil. So that's what I'm going to do first now. And as you can see, the bucket is half full, and then I normally add some fertilizer. And this fertilizer is made of chicken poo and the excrements from chicken. And I'm adding this a couple of fish with this one. And this fertilizer is something that the tomatoes really enjoy. So this is good stuff. And then I add a little bit more soil on top of it. And I normally leave around 5 centimeters on the top of the bucket here. I just leave it, let's say 5 centimeters here, in order to have a little bit more space to add some soil later on in the season when it's needed. I will put this newly planted tomato plant inside this frame that I'm having here, because later on when this plant becomes taller, it has a support in this frame, and I will also put up a string later on to support the plant when it grows higher and higher. And initially I just use a wooden stick to keep it steady here so that it doesn't break. And then I'll put them in underneath here, and you see that it comes in between this frame, and it will grow further up taller and taller through the season. And of course they need some water finally, so that they will be ready for the next season, the season to grow. Well, this concludes the video of me making the greenhouse ready for the next season. I've planted the first tomato plant here now, and the others will follow soon. And also the cucumbers are ready to be planted. And I will, of course, keep you updated over how it goes and the progress that I'm making in the greenhouse through the season. So if you enjoy this video and like the content that you see, please give me the thumbs up. It helps me a lot. And if you want to see more of this kind of content from me, then why don't you subscribe? And in the meantime, I wish you a lovely day. And remember to be active in nature and stay curious.